In this sacred moment, open your heart and mind to receive the divine message that transcends all boundaries. The chosen one is currently having the most desperate conversation of their lives with their entire family seated around a kitchen table, and they are solely discussing you. They are totally afraid of what is happening to them because they betrayed you, not because they love you or miss you. And you won't believe what I'm going to tell you about the impending prison sentence. It's going to grow so much worse. As their mother, siblings, and cousins ask them to pick up the phone and tell you what they did to you, the person who betrayed you sits there. The crazy aspect, though, is that they won't be able to stop what the universe has already started, even if they contact you right now and explain in detail how they were paid to ruin your life. And you will see why their lineage is on the verge of total extinction after you learn about the inheritance money they attempted to take from you using your own name. They know that confession won't stop the spiritual soldiers who have been sent against them, so they keep picking up the phone to contact you and then putting it down. Every time they are about to hit call, something stops them because they know deep down that it's already too late. Their hands are practically shaking as they search through their contacts for your number. Furthermore, what is currently occurring to them is only the start of a cosmic punishment that will garner media attention. However, the judicial system is constructing a case against them that is so strong that they are unaware that they have already been apprehended while they sit there paralyzed by terror. And everyone involved in the plot against you will realize they picked a fight with heaven itself when those shackles snap around their wrists. They didn't just ghost you for fun, and this is what actually happened, and it will make your fury boil. They were offered a portion of your inheritance money in exchange for removing themselves from your life and abandoning you. They signed their own death certificate without realizing it. They genuinely sat in a room with people who detested your success and agreed to accept money in order to desert you when you needed them most. Investigators are undoubtedly giggling at how foolish these individuals were because of the blatantly evident documentation trail they left behind. And all of the documents they falsified using your name are going to come to light in a way that will surprise those who believe they got away with it. The worst part, though, isn't even the money they took. Hold off until you learn about the cult-like organization that planned your entire demise and how they are all related in ways that will soon come to light. A whole group of people developed what can only be called a conspiracy against your happiness because they couldn't stand to see you prosper. These people chose to use their resources to methodically ruin every relationship you had while watching you from a distance, enraged with jealousy whenever something positive happened to you. They located everyone who was connected to you and went up to each person individually with offers they believed they couldn't turn down, including money, opportunities, threats, or anything else it needed to make them leave you. If you feel the divine love, now is the time to share. Click the Super Thank You button on YouTube to contribute $50 or more and help us spread God's blessings. What you do is being watched and serves as a seed, and in the future it will come back to you a millionfold. The most devious thing, though, is that they claimed that each individual they recruited was the cause of the problem, toxic, and that being abandoned was actually fostering personal development. Because the deception was so intricate, some people thought that by betraying you, they were actually helping you. However, when it comes to chosen ones, the universe doesn't play games, and everyone involved in this plot is going to find out what happens when you band together against someone who heaven is protecting. Families will be ruined, businesses will fail, and some people will lose everything they have ever worked for due to the impending spiritual backlash. Making you feel totally alone was the most heinous aspect of their scheme. They determined the precise number of people they needed to cut off from your life in order to crush your soul, and they methodically bought off each and every one of them. Your ex who abruptly stopped talking to you, who was paid to ghost you, That friend who started acting strangely and then vanished, who was paid to cause trouble and go, and even some relatives who stopped being available and friendly. They wanted you isolated because they believed a chosen one without human support would be susceptible, and the money trail will show you everything. However, they committed the greatest error in cosmic history when they were compelled to rely only on divine protection, which not only protects, but also destroys anyone who poses a threat to the Most High's property. Every single individual who stole money to leave you is currently in such spiritual bondage that they are unable to even function normally. Their relationships are falling apart, their finances are failing, and their health is getting worse. They are all beginning to understand that the money they were given was cursed as soon as it came into contact with their hands. These thieves were busy utilizing your personal information to commit such widespread fraud that the FBI will be engaged while you were coping with the emotional anguish of abandonment. They applied for loans, opened accounts, and even tried to claim inheritance funds that were rightfully yours under your name. They left a paper trail that will soon come to light in a way that will startle everyone who believed they were impervious. The aspect that will blow your mind, though, is that the insider who gave the fraud ring all of your personal information was the one who was meant to be closest to you and whose betrayal wounded the most. Every piece of identification, every document they required, and every financial background data came from a person you could fully trust. The arrest warrants will reveal a criminal network so large that some of these individuals will serve decades in prison. The digital forensics team has already tracked the transactions back to their origin. However, once the full force of cosmic justice catches up with them, incarceration will be the least of their concerns. Recently, there was an incident that terrified the entire conspiracy network. A sudden and unexpected death of a person involved in the plot against you. Not just anybody, but someone who had a key role in planning your demise. Because chosen ones had fighting angels in addition to guardian angels, everyone else involved knew they were marked by the universe the instant this person died. Furthermore, warnings are not given by warring angels. The repercussions are immediate, terrible, and occasionally irreversible when someone crosses the line with heaven's favorite. For everyone else concerned, that sudden death served as a reminder that time is running out. Seeing the pattern, the surviving conspirators are now in a panic because they know that the universe isn't playing games and that everything went wrong for them the moment they turned against you. Some of them are experiencing horrific spiritual experiences, while others are having panic attacks and others are having trouble sleeping. To safeguard his chosen ones, the Most High uses cosmic special forces rather than ordinary angels. These are the best fighters in the universe, and their sole duty is to annihilate everyone who poses a threat to their designated chosen one. They are not kind guardian spirits offering beautiful encouragements. With magical curiosity, every curse they hurled at you has been turned back towards them. Every falsehood they have spread against you is coming to pass. You are catching them in every trap they create for you. Sensitive folks can literally sense the energy moving in their favor since the spiritual battle going on around you is so fierce. However, these warriors hunt in addition to defending. They are currently methodically ruining the lives of all those involved in your betrayal. Relationships are breaking down, careers are collapsing, health issues are appearing, and financial devastation is spreading like a spiritual infection through their bloodlines. The earthly judicial system is constructing cases that will lead to numerous arrests, while the spiritual fighters manage cosmic justice. Prosecutors are likely vying for control of the case because the evidence against the conspiracy network is so strong. Bank records demonstrating suspicious transactions, digital communications plotting your demise, forged documents containing your information, and video surveillance of meetings where your destruction was planned. Because of the overwhelming amount of evidence, Some defendants will enter guilty pleas in order to spare themselves the humiliation of having their crimes read aloud in public. However, the legal ramifications are merely the manifestation of the cosmic verdict that has already been made. Not only will these individuals lose their freedom, but they will also lose all they have ever held dear, everything they have strived for, and everything they believe to be significant. Do you recall how they attempted to make you appear insane when you felt that something wasn't right? How did they persuade your shared acquaintances that you were unstable, theatrical, and paranoid? How did they plan a whole campaign of character assassination to undermine your reputation before you had a chance to expose them? Everyone who helped you doubt your own reality is going to go through a level of public humiliation that will be discussed for years to come, because when falsehoods are exposed by divine light, they don't just fall apart, they burst in the faces of those who told them. Brother and sister, everything done in faith is returned in God's abundance. You can donate $100 using the Super Thank You button and be part of this divine call. If your roots are connected to Him, your fruit will be blessed. When they see how they were duped into leaving an innocent person behind, those who accepted their version of events will feel awful. When they realize they were used as weapons in someone else's fight against heaven's chosen, your common friends who took sides against you will feel ashamed. Several members of this conspiracy will be sent to prison, of course. Since the cosmic court has already decided, and earthly courts always comply with divine justice when chosen ones are involved, the sentencing phase is really a formality. The one who gave the scammers your personal information, in prison. The ringleader behind the campaign of abandonment, in prison. The one who managed the funds to settle your pal's debts, in prison. Children will grow up seeing their parents in prison because some of these sentences will be so harsh that families will be shattered. The crazy part is that some of them may attempt to contact you from prison, pleading for your forgiveness and requesting that you take some sort of action to help them. They will write letters to express their regret, how they were duped, and how they now see that you were innocent all along. When someone opposes a chosen one, the repercussions impact not only the individual, but also everyone who is related to them by blood, marriage, or intimate affiliation. Whole family trees are currently going through unimaginable disasters that cannot be explained by everyday events. The conspirators' children are struggling in school. Their spouses are experiencing unexplained health problems. Their parents are losing their retirement funds, and their siblings are encountering unforeseen legal issues. Through their bloodlines, the curse that was triggered when they acted against you is spreading like spiritual cancer. The thing that scares them the most, though, is that they can see the pattern. They can link every issue to the exact moment that a member of their family took part in your treachery. They are aware that this is no accident. They are aware that this is judgment and that there is nothing they can do to change it. You must come to terms with the fact that you are a cosmic judge, not just someone who is sheltered by the universe. People's fate is determined by how they treat you, and your very presence in their lives is a litmus test for their character. In addition to hurting your sentiments, the individual who deceived you was failing a heavenly test. They had the chance to stand for virtue, but they opted for wickedness. When given the opportunity to defend innocence, they opted for greed. They had a chance to show their love, but they decided to betray. The cosmic court issued its decision as soon as they made that decision. The execution of a divine punishment that was issued the moment they chose to act against heaven's chosen is what is happening to them right now. It is not retaliation. They will eventually tell you everything. They're going to acknowledge that they were paid to leave you, that they were aware of the scam, and that they will name all of the conspirators. With tears running down their cheeks, they will plead for your pardon, and you'll feel validated when they do. You'll experience validation. You'll feel as though at last others would realize that you weren't the issue, that you weren't insane, or that you weren't dreaming things. Here's what you need to know, though. This was never about getting them to acknowledge their guilt, so their confession won't protect them from what's about to happen. This was about the application of divine justice, which is incredibly powerful even in the absence of human collaboration. This plot will be exposed in a loud, public, and unavoidable way. It won't be quiet or private. Everyone who needs to know what these people did to you will find out in the most embarrassing way possible as news outlets pick up the story and social media explodes with details. Imagine how embarrassing it will be for everyone to learn that they helped ruin an innocent person's life in order to make money. When their kids' friends discover that their parents are crooks, just think of the embarrassment. Imagine how embarrassing it would be for their coworkers to learn that they had been working with someone who would betray their best friends in order to get money. Some of them may have to move merely to avoid the condemnation of others who believe they knew them as they deal with the devastation they caused themselves, since the exposure will be so thorough and destructive. You will undergo a public and comprehensive vindication that will become legendary in your town. Everyone who questioned you will say they're sorry. Everyone who thought falsehoods about you will be embarrassed. Everyone who left you will make an effort to return, but you won't need their excuses or attempts at reconciliation, since you'll be too busy starting the most amazing chapter of your life. Even skeptics will have to admit that you are divinely favored, since the blessings that are coming your way will be so many, so evident, and so extraordinary. Your achievement will serve as indisputable evidence that the cosmos defends its chosen ones. Your happiness will serve as proof of the existence of divine justice. Your victory will serve as evidence of what occurs when heaven takes up your cause. The cosmos was actually preparing you for greatness through the plot to isolate you. They made you realize the limitless power accessible to those who are chosen and who fully depend on divine help when they took away all human support from your existence. During that season of desertion, you were stronger rather than weaker. You become more protected rather than more exposed. You found powers you never knew you possessed. You didn't lose them. You became unstoppable as a result of the solitude that was supposed to break you. You realize now that you never required their help in the first place. You never needed their blessing. When you are selected by the Most High, human relationships are lovely to have but never essential to your success, so you never had to rely on their allegiance. This will shiver you to your core. The individual who deceived you is now facing more than simply repercussions. They are facing something far more sinister. Not only does someone lose divine protection when they disobey heaven's chosen, but they also expose themselves to utterly frightening powers. This person has currently drawn demonic attachments that take advantage of their desperation, dread, and guilt. Even their own relatives are beginning to notice the shift in their attitude, the gloom that seems to accompany them everywhere, and the coldness of the rooms when they go in. Everyone who knows them can tell that something terrible has taken up home in their lives, and they are no longer the same person. However, like a spiritual plague, these demonic powers are wreaking havoc throughout the entire conspiratorial network, not only on the primary traitor. Everybody involved in your collapse is suffering from supernatural oppression that is turning their life into a living hell. And unless someone cracks and tells you everything, things will only get worse. Everyone who plotted against you is in such spiritual bondage that they are actually unable to operate normally while you are enjoying unprecedented favor. They appear to have been severed from the very wellspring of life. Every strategy they develop fails before it even starts. Every door they attempt to open smashes shut, and every chance they seek vanishes. For no apparent reason, their bank accounts are freezing. At the last minute, their commercial transactions are falling apart. For ostensibly arbitrary reasons, their relationships are failing. The key to their release is buried so far in divine justice that no earthly force can reach it, and they are spiritually imprisoned. What's really driving them crazy, though, is that they can see you prospering while they're stuck in this spiritual quagmire. Every accomplishment you make, every gift you get, and every opportunity that presents itself serves as a reminder of what was lost when they decided to go against heaven's will. In reality, they were pursuing something far more significant than your money or relationships. You have spiritual abilities, heavenly downloads, and age-old wisdom that have been handed down through your family for many years. You pose a threat to those who gain money by keeping others spiritually dormant because of these abilities. The purpose of the plot against you was to deprive you of your spiritual heritage, to get you to question your intuition, and to persuade you that your glimpses of God and prophetic dreams were merely your imagination. Since a fully awakened chosen one with access to their spiritual abilities is unstoppable, they required you to be cut off from the source. However, their efforts to impede your spiritual growth only strengthened your bond with the divine. You grew stronger with each assault on your beliefs. Your voice grew stronger with each attempt to stifle it. Your light shone stronger every time you tried to lower it. And now your spiritual abilities are functioning at a level that others who live in darkness find threatening. If you want to witness God's miracles, act now. Contribute $100 or more through Super Thank You on YouTube. Your offering is like a seed that comes back to you when planted. Let His light illuminate your steps. Every donation is an echo in His plan. The fact that chosen ones have entire lineages of deceased ancestors who are still actively protecting their bloodline from the spirit realm is something these idiots were unaware of when they acted against you. Your great-grandparents, your ancient ancestors, warriors, healers, and mystics from your family line who crossed over decades or centuries ago were the ones who betrayed you, and their actions not only infuriated the universe, but also roused a spiritual army that had been waiting for generations to defend their chosen descendant. Now that they are all mobilized, they are coordinating perfectly to destroy everyone who dared to hurt their beloved chosen one. Earthly retaliation seems easy compared to the capabilities and talents of these ancestral ghosts. Your adversaries are currently being harassed spiritually by departed relatives they were unaware of, ancestors coming to them in dreams, showing up in their peripheral vision, relocating items in their homes, and sending them messages that are completely horrifying. However, when an entire lineage determines that someone needs to be taught a lesson about respecting heaven's chosen, these spiritual interventions are only the first step. You're going to be horrified to learn that they were methodically harvesting your spiritual energy to support their own existence in addition to taking your money and ruining your relationships. The person who deceived you was stealing your energy and used it to bring benefits into their own lives every time you showered them with affection, worried about their troubles, or prayed for their success. They were spiritual vampires that fed off your light while also trying to destroy you from within, which is why you felt so exhausted around them, why your energy would drop after spending time with them, and why you always felt like you were giving more than you received. However, stealing energy from a loved one has terrible repercussions that these folks were unaware of. In their systems, the spiritual energy they pilfered was like radioactive material. It seemed to help them momentarily, but it was poisoning them from the inside out. They are now being destroyed by that stolen energy in ways that science cannot explain or cure. Everyone involved in the plot against you has been experiencing strange things, and these aren't coincidences or natural occurrences. Rather, they are supernatural expressions of divine wrath that are terrifying these individuals. Some of them have lights on as they sleep. When they attempt to remove evidence, electronics are not working properly. When cars try to escape, they break down. When phones attempt to coordinate their narrative, they perish. They wake up screaming from such vivid and scary dreams. When no one is around, voices call their names. When they turn to gaze, shadows that were moving in their peripheral vision vanish. They have never experienced spiritual persecution like this before, and it is growing more intense every day. Some of them feel that something strong and enraged is after them, so they are seeking psychic advice, going to churches, and even trying exorcisms. However, those who have rebelled against heaven's chosen ones are not protected. Mike, the creator of the obsidian inner order powered by Astral Atom, has sent you the following message, Ronzit. Look, I understand you came here to watch the film of your choice, but I need a moment. I might never be able to forgive myself if I don't say this into the field right away. Some of us were abused, banished, and plagued by facts that no one else could accept because we were born into fire. The fact that we were selected to pass through the veil and return with the map does not imply that we are cursed. Every week, we get together in person via Zoom as members of the Obsidian Inner Order, a millionaire CFO who gave up everything to become a psychic in Noasa, a spiritual healer who was once imprisoned within a satanic cult, a seer, a sage, a soul who left Mormonism and found the Gnosis instead, a former military drone operator who now uses his mind as the remote control. I mean it when I say real people. This is only a glimpse of the people who sacrificed everything when their calling struck. Every call is recorded so that you may hit play and experience the pitch once again when you're by yourself, digging through the muck of your own awakening. Perhaps this is for you, but it's not for everyone. Do you think you'll fit in with us? Click the link in the description to join the Obsidian Inner Order. We appreciate everyone's support of the broadcast. Without you, we literally could not accomplish this. Your spirit was receiving downloads about the impending treachery long before you consciously realized it. These downloads included those vivid dreams about individuals wearing masks, those sleepless nights when you couldn't sleep, and those unexpected intuitive flashes that something wasn't right. You were being prepared for what these individuals were plotting by the divine world. Every single vision you received was accurate intelligence from the cosmic realm. Your ancestors literally showing you the future, revealing the plots against you, and preparing your spirit for the betrayal and isolation that were planned to break you. You likely dismiss those spiritual warnings as overthinking or paranoia. However, the same prophetic powers that forewarned you about the plot are now revealing to you something that will astound you. Clear pictures of the amazing life you will lead after this spiritual conflict is over, detailed visions of your enemy's total destruction, and accurate foreshadowings of how divine justice will play out. You're entering a new reality where everyone knows who you truly are as this cosmic justice plays out around you. You won't have to dispute your experiences, question your intuition, or wonder whether you're being overly dramatic or paranoid. You are going to live in a world where everyone can see that you are protected by God, where your favor is undeniable, and where it is impossible to deny that you are one of heaven's chosen. The people who attempted to undermine you will turn into living examples of what happens when a chosen one is crossed. A masterclass in cosmic protection, divine justice, and what it means to be genuinely favored by the cosmos is about to unfold in your life. From now on, everyone you meet will know they are with someone special, someone selected, someone protected. Greetings from your chosen reality. Nothing will ever be the same again now that the truth has been exposed. The universe has been waiting for you to fully realize who you truly are.